We are scrying again, and today I'm learning something new. And so I'm very thankful to be doing these readings for you because you guys teach me things that I'd never even considered. So, for instance, this piece is for Christy, and Christy has been twice born again. Her double has been birthed. And this is a shamanic term, it's an alchemical term, it's a Christian term, it's a term in Buddhism. So, really, all ideologies and perceptions talk about this rebirth. And what's strange about this piece, or I don't know if the word strange is correct, is that Christy's higher self is a female Buddha. And she has a lotus flower. And this lotus flower is speaking of a place of purity, cleansing, and to purify ourselves of all negativity. And and the question is, did she birth her female Buddha self from scratch, or was her female Buddha self already there on another timeline that she shifted to from healing and raising her frequency and whatever, and then suddenly was connected to her higher self kind of, spontaneously. And that's the question here. It's almost as if our higher self has already and has always existed. We just had to take our physical body and awaken it and ignite a light within us and grow it to the point where we can connect to that higher self. Kind of like Bastian connecting to Atreyu. Atreyu always existed, but Bastian wasn't aware of his other half, his twin flame or his higher self, until he learned and could hear that there is more to this life than meets the eyeballs. So, one thing that we asked was, who is our spirit animal? And I'm also surprised that you have more than one spirit animal. Your main spirit animal is the white wolf, but you also have a bear with a Buddha riding a bear and an elephant. So, you have some Eastern goddess energy connected to you. You are at 11 o'clock, you have your grandmother or grandfather on your head, and your grandfather is pouring out a pot like the age of Aquarius, and there's a voice speaking, and there's books in front of you that are heavy. It's almost like drop the books, it's time to go. And you're holding a lotus flower, and inside the lotus flower is a secret place with a stairway, and there are individuals inside this flower who are not only purifying themselves, but electrifying themselves and becoming powerful. And they're wearing Mithra hats, almost like witch hats, wizard hats. So I think this is your higher self going, hey, leave the world of studying and the matrix behind, because your higher self wants to work through you and do some amazing things. And maybe, school is old because it seems to be below you. I'm not sure. But there's a man inside the book, and he has a fishing pole dropping down to a part of you that has an elongated skull. You're bald headed and you're holding a young girl. So this is where you came from. Notice the Buddha at 1 o'clock, and then out of the body of the Buddha are people coming out, like her body is the temple. And she's holding a pearl that turned into a roll of toilet paper, which is kind of funny. But the man that's inside of the book has a crown on his head with ant people, okay? And the Hopi talks about the ant people who lived underground. Ant means Anu, and Naki means friend. So the Anunnaki had elongated skulls with big eyes, and they were called the ant people from underground. They had almond-shaped eyes, and their necks were like ants. I don't even know what an ant's neck looks like. Never thought about it. They have a yellowish or reddish brown body, and they have pictures of them. Their antennae look kind of like horns. And the funny thing is, I was listening to a podcast about a spring over here in Florida in my area and how these ant-like beings are under these tunnels under the ground. They look like this with the ants. So that this man that you call Bubba or Buddy, I can't remember what you said, that's in the books, is the reason he's below you is an allegory that this person that you're connecting with seems to be an Anunnaki or an ant person that is below you. Ask me if I know anything about these people. No, I don't. But it did show up in your art. So we need to investigate it. I know they're telepathic. I know their antennae make it so that they actually could manipulate the human race. But I've heard that they are not bad. According to the Hopi, they are actually very helpful. But there are people who say the Anunnaki are not helpful. They're evil. Let's talk about the white wolf, meaning and symbolism. The white is a symbol of purity, and it kind of goes along with the lotus. The lotus is supposed to be white, and the pearl that your higher self is holding is also white. This is about being independent and working alone. This is kind of about keeping your own company, but you know, the ring bearer walks alone. Kings and queens often feel alone, and this is the path of the master, the ascended master. And you will work with others to achieve a common goal. The white wolf teaches us to embrace our individuality. The white wolf is tough enough to face anything that comes their way. You have the ability to handle multiple situations in life. You can both kill and destroy and heal and love all in one moment. The white wolf asks you to be happy despite challenges and difficulty that life throws your way. Keeping your head high through the good and bad times. I think this is about shifting your neurological pathways from seeing the worst to seeing the best. It's a training mechanism. Kids who are raised by happy parents don't think the worst. They just weren't trained that way. This is about believing in yourself and believing in your instincts, because it's not just you. Your higher self is now connected to you like an antenna. And this antenna and this spirit, you have become half flesh, half spirit. You've been twice born. So when you speak, it's not just you speaking. So just let it flow, even if it's stupid. And it's great to be stupid because you could turn it into a comedy act somehow. The female Buddha. Let's talk about this female Buddha. Because ask me if I know about female Buddhas. I do not. But I found it very interesting that the process of Buddhism and the female Buddha is very much connected to alchemy, transforming from lead to gold, and the purification process. Buddhist imagery is usually overwhelmingly masculine, and female Buddhas are rarely represented in art. The female Buddhas are the counterparts of the cosmic Buddha, representing Buddha's wisdom, which is perceived as feminine, complementing the masculine quality of compassion. One female Buddha is Tara, and she is the mother of liberation. And this is what I'm seeing in your art, because when you become connected to a higher self, your holy temple becomes an energy that basically ignites like a fire onto others, and so your energy will begin to liberate others. I found a book that you could read about the female Buddha, Tara, that might help you merge with this energy of yours. This is your higher self, basically. So the energy of Tara is an energetic force that exists within us all, and it's all around us. Just we have to tap into that frequency like an antenna. And the 22 manifestations of Tara are, doesn't that sound like tarot cards? Because there are 22 main tarot cards. And so it's not that you're worshiping Tara. What you're doing is you're connecting with the energy of Tara in order for that energy to give you downloads and give you a voice and allow this voice to speak through you in order to heal not only yourself, but everyone around you in your world. If ever the voice of wisdom and compassion was needed in the form of an awakened individual, it would have been Tara. So she holds the lotus flower, and you are holding the lotus flower, and your body becomes a temple. So this means that you are like Hogwarts. You're a school that people go to, and you have information that people need in order to step into their adepthood. This is why the individuals are wearing tall, pointy hats in your piece. So the lotus flower grows in muddy water, and out of the muddy water comes the purified, pure white or pink lotus flower, which is an allegory for our spiritual perfection. It is both purity of mind and spirit. If a flower is red, it refers to compassion and love. So there's significance to the color of the flower. I will say when I saw your lotus flower initially, it looked pink, pinkish white. I turned it blue, just it turned out that way. So maybe it's meant to be, I don't know. So notice at 6 o'clock when you died in your past life, you have 2 antennae coming out of your head, so you're connected to these ant people, and you went into another body riding a bear. I don't understand it. And then from there you went into an elephant, and then from there you went into many lifetimes of learning. And then you have the Gemini Phi energy. This is your twin flame energy. And then from there you are now you. And you have male and female, which kind of turned out to be your grandmother and grandfather, and then an angel. So this is the Trinity, flesh, spirit, and the balance of male and female. The original Adam and Eve, or the original Adam, was both Adam and Eve. So he had 2 souls. But someone argues that he actually had 3 souls in one, which made him look like a flying animal, like a dragon. And you do have a flying horse, white horse, next to your wolf. So the Sephirim angels were said to have 3 souls in one. This is the Trinity. And then we were cut, kind of like Osiris was cut. We were cut male from female, and our animal, like the golden compass, was cut from us as well. So when we find our missing parts, our male, our female, and our animal, which is our spirit, then we find our Trinity. And then you can see the lotus flower has 3 petals, and this is the triple flame. And the triple flame is about balancing flesh, mind, spirit, heart. There are 3 ant people on the man's face that makes the face of some books. And I think books are about lifetimes and about learning. Why you as an ant person decided to become a human being, I'm not really sure. I don't know why ants live underground anyway. It seems like you came here to teach and you were hurt. You didn't realize human beings were such muggles and jerks. And so you have a hard time detaching from the energy of human beings. Maybe you have anger toward human beings. You should really turn it into a comedy act. Because your higher self, the female Buddha, turned the white pearl into a roll of toilet paper and is basically a metaphor of saying you don't need to deal with human beings who are a piece of shit. Deal with human beings who are ready to hear the voice of truth. Those who are ready to be purified in the fires of the triple flame, the 3-petaled flower of the lotus. And you don't have to be serious about teaching people. You can use comedy. So Spirit told me to write you a song, and it's so stupid, but it might be so stupid that it's funny. Debbie Downer comes to mind. When I used to be in therapy, they used to have me indulge in my past and talk about how terrible I felt. And I think this is incorrect. I think we have to shift people from focusing on the worst into thinking about the best. Shifting our neurological pathways from going to a habitual room of sorrow into a place of glittery light. So now you have some studying to do about the ant people and the female Buddha. I hope this is will help to enlighten you, but also help to encourage you that life is magical and mysterious, isn't it? I should have wrote a song called Don't Give a Shit. Human beings who are raised by narcissistic parents, have been mentally trained to talk about the worst, think about the worst, feel the worst, Debbie Downer. And they need to be retrained into thinking the best, feeling the best, shifting neurological pathways from below into above, finding a spark of light within them and growing it. The energy of thankfulness every day. Finding their voice, finding their drum and their tune. Maybe they're meant to be a comedian.